Do you have a worrying child? Some of your kids' worries might seem ridiculous to you, but they are very real to your children. When our kids are not able to cope with their fears and worries in them, these will turn into anxiety, which is our body's natural threat response system. It is important to acknowledge rather than dismiss these worries that our kids are experiencing. In this video, other than showing you how you can help your worrying child, we'll also talk a little bit about anxiety, what triggers anxiety in children, and the signs of anxiety that we can observe in our kids. I'm Jacinth, a parenting coach and ex-school teacher. Since becoming a parent, I've realized how important it is to teach our kids emotion regulation when they are young. My kids feel anxious at times, and I will bring out this My Worry Cloud printable to engage them in conversations and help them to learn coping skills. I'll share how to use this in a while, but if you want to download it, you can always get it for free from the HP website, so the link is in the description below. I am a fan of print-based learning because I know my children, like many of your kids, are visual learners. To support my children's learning, I print printables, templates and posters using the HP Instant Ink printer via the HP app. And so far, I have not encountered any ink emergencies like before. In the past, we had to delay our learning at home because either the printable is printed halfway or we ran out of ink entirely. And now HP can take over my job to track our ink levels and send over the cartridges to our doorstep when they detect low ink supplies. There is no delivery charge. This means one thing off my never-ending to-do list. The subscription is also sustainable as there is fewer packaging and less shipments. In fact, I can save up to 50% on ink cartridges with HP Instant Ink. HP is now offering a 3-month free trial of HP Instant Ink if you own or purchase any of HP's eligible printer. So sign up for the free trial by clicking the link in the description below. I noticed that my son tends to bite his nails when he feels anxious. That seems to be his coping mechanism when he is feeling afraid or worried. What do I do then? Now, I'm sure most of us have tried to gently remind our kids, not to suck their thumbs, not to rub themselves or play with their nails. But when they continue to do so, we start to nag and threaten our kids because the behaviors just don't stop. Does nagging and threatening work? Unfortunately, they don't. If they do work, then we don't have to keep nagging and threatening our kids over and over again. This is because we are not addressing the underlying reasons behind their behaviors. So when I see my son biting his nails, I will gently push his hands away and not make a big fuss out of it. At the same time, I'll talk about what he is feeling, help him be aware, and offer alternative coping skills. Before I go into how we can help our worrying children, let's talk about what anxiety and worries really are. Yes, psychologists have shared that it is normal for children to have fears and worries and even experience some form of anxiety. And in most cases, the anxiety comes and goes without lasting long. In fact, even us adults feel anxious, isn't it? At times I can find myself playing with my nails unknowingly when I feel anxious. It could be due to a child's temperament or external stresses. For example, a loss of a loved family member or pet, illness, moving houses, transition to a new school, having a change in helper, violence, physical or emotional abuse. Sometimes, growing up in a family where others are anxious and fearful can influence a child to be worrisome too. Anxiety can come in different forms at different stages of development. Some symptoms include children not sleeping well at night, not eating properly, often feeling irritable and angry, explodes out of control during outbursts, not able to concentrate in tasks, feeling tense, fidgety, having negative thoughts, constantly worrying, having pains, aches, easily restless, and more. We can provide emotional support and equip our children with skills to manage the anxiety. However, if the symptoms persist, there is no harm seeking help from a professional and find out more about anxiety disorders, which mostly can be treated. Now, I will share some tips on what to do and what not to do to help a worrying child. Don't dismiss or amplify your kids' feelings, even though it might seem very ridiculous to you, because to your children, these feelings and worries are real. Avoid saying things like, "It's not scary at all," or "It's just a dog, it's just water on your head." And don't amplify the situation by saying things like, "You are very, very anxious right now," because we don't want to feed the cycle of anxiety. Instead, ask them open-ended questions. How are you feeling about show and tell? And how did you feel earlier on when there's so many people talking at the same time? Remember, our goal is not to eliminate, belittle, or reinforce the anxiety. We want to help our children be aware of that feeling and then equip them with skills so that they can manage the anxiety. Don't remove the stresses that cause the anxiety. By doing so, we are taking away learning opportunities for our children to learn how to manage the big feelings and fears. This means that we still have to send our kids to school even if they're experiencing separation anxiety. We are still going to bring our kids to play dates even though they take time to join in, warm up and play with other children. We don't remove the stresses, but rather we teach them how to tolerate the anxiety and discomfort. We can accept the feelings and be empathetic. For example, "I know you don't wish to go to school. It's okay that you're worried. It is uncomfortable to have these feelings, but mommy and daddy are going to help you through this." Help your kids be aware about what worries them. Essentially, we are trying to help our kids welcome the worries, like saying, "Hello, Mr. Worry, I know you are here in my body to help me. I'm going upstage to perform and I'm feeling really frightened, but I can manage this. Mommy and daddy has taught me how to take deep breaths. So thank you, Mr. Worry, for being here." You can use this worry cloud to help your kids list down their worries. So during calm and happy moments, discuss with your kids about their worries. If they can write, let them write their worries in the big cloud at the top. If they can't write yet, they can always draw pictures instead. So tell your little ones that these worries are there, but we can manage them. So brainstorm with your little ones to problem solve and write these little solutions in the rain droplets. By encouraging our children, we are teaching them to deal with the anxiety in them. The anxiety will take its natural curve and reduce over time. It might take a while, but our kids will slowly learn how to overcome their fears and worries. Don't reason with an anxious child. You can't reach them when they are dysregulated. Avoid telling your kids, "You've been swimming for so long, why are you so afraid of jumping into the water?" Or reason with them that there is no monster. Instead, focus on calming yourself and your child. The teaching can come later. You can also preempt the situation by doing role plays with them. So for example, saying goodbye to your kids at home to practice how it's going to be like at school drop-off. Or telling your kids in advance that there will be a dog at your friend's place. You can also get your kids to practice closing their ears when they see the lightning so that the thunder will not be too loud for them. In general, a child is better able to cope with anxiety if he or she is able to notice it, welcome it, and practice the skills to manage it. For example, taking deep breaths, talking to someone, practicing or doing pretend play. As parents, our supporting role is to validate our kids' feelings and teach and model these skills to help our children manage the anxiety. If you have enjoyed these tips, don't forget to click like and the subscribe button so it gives me information on how I can provide more resources to help you. If you need a template or an analogy to kickstart conversations with your children, you can always download this printable from the HP website for free. The link is in the description box below. I'll see you next week for our Motivation Monday series. Goodbye!